All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are unleashing a thought experiment that is just wild. We're talking about a complete dog apocalypse. We're going to ask a simple but pretty brutal question. If we hit the reset button on the entire dog world, who would actually come out on top? So, picture this, right? We take 100 of today's dog breeds, everything from a Chihuahua to a Great Dane, and we just release them into a temperate savanna. No humans, no kibble, no help whatsoever. Who thrives, who goes extinct, and maybe, most interesting of all, what does the dog of the future even look like?
You see, this whole scenario isn't just about survival of the fittest in the classic sense. Nope, this is a complete evolutionary do-over. So let's call it what it is, the Great Dog Reset.
Now, our setting for this grand experiment is a temperate savanna. You know the vibe. Wide open grasslands, some trees scattered about, and some really distinct wet and dry seasons. It's a tough new world for sure, but it's also a totally blank slate, full of opportunity for any breeds that are smart enough and tough enough to adapt. And the rules of this new game, they are brutally simple. First, you've got to find your own food and water. You have to avoid predators. We're talking big cats, hyenas, the works. You need to be able to handle the climate, from scorching hot days to cool nights. And maybe the most important rule of all, you have to form a pack. A lone dog isn't going to last very long out here.
Okay, so how do they actually manage all that? Well, survival isn't just random. It's a team sport, and every single successful team needs players who have very specific skills. This brings us to the 6 jobs that are absolutely essential for survival in this new dog world.
And you can really think of these like character classes in a video game. Every super pack needs its tanks, the apex guardians and hunters, for defense. It needs its damage dealers, the tactical hunters and coordinators, for those coordinated takedowns. You absolutely have to have the brains and problem solvers for strategy. And then, of course, you've got your scouts and rangers, the scouts, sprinters, and trackers. You need your survivalists and foragers to find all the hidden resources. And finally, you have your niche players, the waterline specialists, who just master the rivers and lakes.
And this really gets to the core of the whole thing. It is not about being the single biggest or strongest dog. I mean, a pack of only giant Mastiffs would probably starve to death. Success comes from having the right mix of skills for every job that needs doing. It's all about building a versatile, cooperative society.
So, once you start thinking in terms of these jobs, a pretty clear hierarchy starts to emerge. Turns out, not all breeds are created equal for this new world, and the way the source material ranks these survivors is absolutely fascinating. At the very, very top, the pinnacle, we find what the source calls the dominant founders, the S+ tier. These guys aren't just survivors, they are the genetic bedrock of the future dog. They've got that perfect, ideal blend of intelligence, stamina, and that all-important cooperative spirit. Okay, let's break this chart down because this is where it gets really good. In that top tier, S+, you get breeds like the powerful Kangal, the incredibly smart Belgian Malinois, the tireless Ridgeback, and the genius Border Collie. Down in A tier, you've got your strength and independence, dogs like the Rottweiler and Doberman. B tier is for the pure specialists, the Greyhound for its insane speed, the Coonhounds for their incredible sense of smell. C tier is for the scrappy, adaptable survivors like Pit Bulls and Terriers. And finally, D tier. These are kind of the luxury survivors, dogs like the Newfoundland who can absolutely thrive, but only in a very specific niche, like near a constant source of water.
So the big takeaway here is that this isn't just a ladder where S+ wins and everyone else loses. Not at all. A healthy dog society needs all of these roles. It needs the C-tier scavengers to clean things up, and it needs the B-tier specialists for certain kinds of hunts. It's that mix of specialists and generalists that creates a truly resilient world. All right, let's jump forward in time. We figured out who the initial survivors are and what jobs they do. But what happens over generations and generations of interbreeding? Let's take a look at what the dog of the future might actually be.
So the source maps out this incredible 200-year path. Year 0, that's our reset. By year 100, the most successful genetic lines have adapted and started to blend all their best traits. And then, by year 200, bam, completely new, stable breeds start to emerge, each one perfectly honed for life on the savanna. And the result of all this is nothing short of spectacular. So, meet one of the new apex predators of this world, the Ridge Collie hybrid.
I mean, this animal is just a masterpiece of natural selection.
It combines the incredible stamina and lion-hunting grit of the Rhodesian Ridgeback with the problem-solving genius of the Border Collie. It's got a lean, efficient build, and it even communicates with complex barks to coordinate pack hunts. This is, hands down, the Savannah's new apex cooperative hunter.
But that's not all. For pure defense and guardianship, another powerhouse emerges from this genetic lottery, the Iron Cur.
And this is the ultimate guardian. It's descended from the sheer power of the Congal, the loyalty of the Rottweiler, and the tenacity of the Cur breeds. What you get is a formidable, muscle-bound protector with an endurance that is almost wolf-like. This is the dog that keeps the entire super pack safe.
And the specialization just keeps going. 3 more distinct breeds take shape. You've got the amphibious river retriever mastering all the waterways, the tenacious tunnel hound, which hunts prey underground, and the lightning-fast wind hound, which acts as the courier and long-range scout for this whole new dog society.
So this new dog kind 2.0 is thriving. It's a huge success. But how does this upstart stack up against the Savannah's original apex canid? Let's frame the ultimate showdown: dog kind versus the African wild dog.
And this slide really lays out the contrast perfectly. The African wild dog is a natural specialist. It has been honed by millennia of evolution for supreme endurance and hyper-efficient cooperation. Dogkind 2.0, on the other hand, is a cultural experimenter. It has a much broader skill tree and maybe less raw specialization, but it has a far greater capacity for innovation and high adaptability.
So who wins? Well, the most amazing part is that the result isn't replacement. Dogkind 2.0 is so adaptable that it doesn't just compete with the African wild dog for one single niche, it diversifies and carves out new ecological niches for itself. They can actually coexist.
And that brings us to this final, really powerful line from the source material. The future ecosystem holds both the natural specialist and the cultural experimenter.
It's such a fascinating look at evolution and fast forward, and it really makes you think, what skills would your dog bring to the super pack? Is it a guardian, a problem solver, a scout? Definitely something to ponder.
That is all for this explainer. Thanks for diving in with us, and we'll see you on the next one.